Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the yet another exciting episode of Virtual Global Leadership Podcast. Today, we will be dive deep into the world of marketing strategy with a remarkable guest who brings a wealth of diverse experience to the table. Joining us is Shivakumar, a seasoned professional with over 2 decades of unmatched expertise spanning sales, business development, IT consulting, and more. What sets Shiva apart is its ability to weave together the mosaic of experiences in a coherent and powerful marketing strategy. In a landscape where startups and SMEs face constraints in budget, time, and resources, Shiva Kumar emerges as a guiding light, helping organizations navigate the complexities of modern marketing. His approach is not just about crafting strategies, it's about crafting the right strategies tailored for each unique businesses. But Shiva's impact doesn't stop there. He's a passionate educator conducting workshops to empower startups and SMEs in their marketing endeavors, from identifying unique selling propositions to analyzing market opportunities. Shiva equips his clients with the tools they need to thrive in today's competitive landscape. So, buckle up and get ready to gain invaluable insights in the world of marketing strategy, content creation, content strategy, as we embark on this enlightening conversation with Shiva Kumar. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks, Sagar. Feeling excited and lovely. Thank you for inviting me on to this podcast. I've been listening to past episodes, and I know we've been trying to schedule mine. And thank you, and lovely to be here.
Yes, Shiva, I'm really happy to have you. You are one of the finest marketing brains I have known in
Thank
the
you.
last many years. And it just comes from within you, is what I have, recognized. And I'm sure, the audience will experience it as we dive deep into the conversation. But
Yep,
before we go deep into the marketing, a lot has happened in the last 10 years and a
absolutely.
lot in the last 4 years,
Yep,
5 years, I would to
yes,
say, in each and every aspect of the commercial world we live in.
yep.
What, according to you, is the future of work?
Future of work is going to be that people are going to be, uh, it's work as we know it in the past 10 years, surely has changed. If you look at it, what it is today and what it was a few years ago, a gig economy is coming up a lot. People are doing what they want, what they like, and you see a lot of startups which you couldn't even dream of earlier. That you couldn't even say that there could be a startup for even this, for this
Hmm.
certain function or this certain job. There's a huge number of opportunity for everybody. It's only that you have to make it, you have to stick to it and be there, right? And that's what, so the future of work is going to be, where people are going to be again. Another thing that I see is competition is moving out. It's all about collaborating. People are collaborating. It's be it small, big, medium, micro, solopreneurs. People are collaborating in beautiful ways.
Hmm.
And that's what I say is, competition is passe. It's out.
Yeah.
Today, people are going to collaborate to give in. We're not going to be, what do you say, experts in everything. We're going to be
Yeah.
experts in a few things. We collaborate with experts in other things, form seamless teams, and work together. Everybody grows. It's not going to
Hmm.
be, we are used to talk about past talk about
Yeah.
win-win situations. Today, it's not creating those win-win situations, but win-win situations for all is what is the norm that's coming
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
see a lot of.
Yeah. So, where does like where does this collaboration, empathy, and coming together, where do you see this is coming from? Like, it was, as it, of course it's existed, but what is it that is driving this?
What's driving it is, one was what, it's always been there, as you said. The people were there. People were collaborating in smaller ways out of it was used to be early out of necessity, but
Hmm.
in a way, if you want to look at some things that came good out of the global pandemic and the lockdown, that accelerated the collaboration and coming together and working together, the aspects of that, because that's when people realized that, uh, we don't need to grow it alone. That's what started driving and increase the empathy among people, right? And they
Yeah.
got a glimpse of the future. A lot of people got the glimpse of the future, that if they're trying to work alone, anything can happen, which can turn around the whole. Uncertainty is much more true than ever. Ambiguity today is much more true than ever. They call it about VUCA world, right? And all
Hmm.
those were, they actually felt it. The global pandemic actually hit everybody hard. And that's when they realized that alone it's going to be much more difficult. But if we start
Hmm.
working together, we start combining, there maybe we may not all be hugely successful singly, but we are all going to be successful together. And that's what
Yeah.
started driving it and collaborating and driving this together.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I
And
believe.
what does the future of content look like?
Future of content is immersive experience. uh, I talk about this. I always say that content storytelling is always going to be there. Storytelling, the face of storytelling is changing, but content is going to be a lot of storytelling. Everybody loves stories, right? If you're just going to state things right now, slowly it's going out. A lot of it is already going away. You just state a fact and leave it at that. Nobody wants to eat. People want to know the story behind the fact. People want to know the story around the fact. People want a story. It's going to be a story, and then slowly it's moving into becoming more immersive. People want to experience the content. You want to experience. I always take this example of, sometimes you should watch a sci-fi series and all that. I remember this thing about one of the Star Trek series. I don't know how many Trekkie fans are out there who listen to this, but there's something on the Star Trek Enterprise called the holodeck, which allowed
Mhm.
a person to be a part of the book that they like to read. So you would go into a Sherlock Holmes mystery, and you could choose to be Sherlock Holmes, Watson, Inspector Lestrade, or just an innocent bystander, or even the murder victim. You'd
Yeah.
experience the stories instead of just reading it. And that's what content is going to be. It's going to be in marketing, and it's going to be in anything where you're going to be immersive and experiencing the content.
Yeah. But what about the future of content that's help in selling?
That is what, so each one, it's going to be talking about uh, this content is from the entertainment side. It's slowly coming out into content
Mhm.
for your business. For your business, how you talk about your business, right? So one, everybody should start talking, using storytelling to talk about their business, about their services, about the things. And no longer you're going to show a 2D image. The
Mhm.
future is AI is becoming a very very if anybody says AI is not touching my business, well, you're not looking hard enough.
Hmm.
AI is there. AR, VR, virtual reality, mixed reality is coming in. It's a matter of it being democratized. It's going to be soon available. It's not exactly cheap enough to be available in everybody's hands now, but uh, that's just a matter of time, right? And that's when and the way it is delivered is also changing. People are working on the way it's delivered. Today we still dream of AR, VR as having the virtual reality goggles and being there, but what better to look at than the movies? If
Hmm.
you've seen that,
Hmm.
again, you've seen the Marvel series, the Avengers. It's all in front of you. And that's how AI, you want to talk about. So we are not going to talk about, imagine this same thing. Going to be having this conversation in a holographic 3D projection system. We're going to be
Hmm.
talking about a company where we're going to take people through our company in a
Hmm.
virtual 3D walkthrough, instead of just talking and showing 2D pictures and flat pictures. This is
Hmm.
what you're going to get people to experience the content,
Yeah.
experience the brand, and that's what the future is going to be. What I believe it will look like.
Okay. So, okay. So I also enjoy creating content, producing this podcast, and doing one big aspect of my life is around content. I was just introspecting and I
Absolutely.
understood, wow, this is something which has been very consistent in the last 10 years. So I view content, at least written content, uh, be it on social media or otherwise. I see, or rather, I would want the future of content must be concise. Reason being, with the rise of Chat GPT, right? There is so much of content. I'm
Yeah.
getting so many newsletters, like hardly three. and there is so much of it is written, it just feels like, okay, when this will end. So I tend to say, okay, if the right content with right, let's say, mathematics, and if it delivers with storytelling, so I see a value there. So what are your thoughts, and how do you want to shape up this, the future of
So
content with your
so
experience?
written content, I call it like this. Um, as I say, right, today people want to read something interesting, what will catch their interest, right? You
Yeah,
cannot straight away present people with a long form content. They're not going to read that.
yeah,
Attention spans are definitely smaller. I call it like this: when you go to an ice cream parlor, we first go and take a taste of some things, of a few spoons of ice cream, and say,
yeah,
ha, that's a flavor I like, now give me a full cup or give me a full sundae.
yeah.
That's the same analogy I would take to writing. Give them something that is really interesting and taste that they like. That's going to
Hmm.
hook people. Again, aim it at an audience. The thing is that there's going to be, it's content will need to start becoming aimed at a certain audience, right? Who
Hmm.
do you want to attract? Who do you want reading this? Who do you want affected by it? Not everyone is not going to get affected the same way. Each one is going to get affected in different ways. So
Hmm.
content has to be written in the way you want to affect. Catch that a little bit. Catch that. Give the right story. A good trailer for a movie just gives that little line, leaves people hanging, wanting to click that read more button to know what's the whole story.
Hmm. Hmm.
Give
Hmm.
that. Engage people about your story. Tell them they want to know. Uh, say, I made, I turned around my business this much
Hmm.
by, and leave
Hmm.
it there. Leave people hang. Let people come in and talk, or give them a little excerpt that this is what I did, but don't tell them the whole story right up front. You want to
Yeah.
engage them. You want to get them to talk to you, and
Hmm.
that's where is the future. We've written a lot of pieces, but
Yeah.
this is where it goes in all about.
Yeah. 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 And what are your thoughts on the various content vehicles that are available, be it, be it in the form of digital, print, television, or any other? What are your thoughts there?
Uh, Everything is going to have its place. Written, unfortunately, the print media, uh, call it the changing of times, that print media, it's not dead. Anybody who says it's dead, no, it's not. Just the newspaper sales and book sales, while they are lower than the years, it's still a substantial amount that is there. uh, there is, see, it's a simple thing of, so the content will be there. Different audiences are going to be reached out in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
The slightly
Mm-hmm.
older audience still like to read.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Radio is, audio content is again very very important. Today you're having a whole lot of just audio podcasts, music. You have your Spotify, you have your YouTube music, you have your Amazon music, you have all those various audio streaming uh, streams are there. Then you have your TVs, you have your OTT. You're spoilt for choice for on OTT and web
Yeah.
streaming. uh,
Yeah.
YouTube, if somebody says I don't have anything to see, then you're not looking hard enough. It's there.
Mm.
Every single a topic on, there are videos on everything and anything. It is, there's a, you're spoilt for choice. The only thing is, don't get don't get what do you say, discouraged, or say I don't know what to look at. Pick one topic at a time. Pick certain topic at a time, and start engaging and immersing in it. That's when people are going to start enjoying it. There are
Yeah.
and it is, these are going to evolve. We used to see black and white TVs a long time ago. I'm from that generation which has seen black and white TVs come to color TVs, be very flat and poor quality images, to now today where we are having almost realistic images. uh, Today we have stories from, as you're saying, from short written format to long written format. Same way we have 3-hour movies to we have 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It's what you want to consume that comes in again. Newspaper comes in. So again, all these are going to be content channels, and businesses, as even coming down to the how content and marketing, how it's going to be used for content marketing. All these are various channels that are being reaching out to various people. uh, don't say that any one of them is going to go out. They're all going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are going to engage, people are going to look at it, are going to leave it. It's how you start using these channels in the right way for that audience that is actually going to be reading those and
Yeah.
consuming content from those channels.
So, Shiva, I know you help your clients and the ecosystem with the content strategy. So,
Yeah.
what are the some things or some steps you take so that, as someone, as a customer, or as a potential person who is going to be influenced by the client,
Hmm.
how do I get connected with the client stories with the kind of distracted era we are living in?
Ah, the question you get asked, and uh, so and believe me, this is a challenge that we face, and there's no one single mantra that works, that do step 1, step 2, step 3 and it works.
Hmm.
It is a matter of so we always, when we work with our clients, we always say, who is the audience you want to attract, the primary audience and the secondary audience. You want everybody to read your stories? It's not going to be possible, because today each one, people have diverse interests and diverse things that hook them and motivate them.
Yeah,
You cannot attract all the audience that you want. It's a truth
yeah,
of the matter. Who do you want as your audience? Who's your primary? Who's your secondary? What is the objective and what are the outcomes you want?
yeah,
And based on that we create, that is when, and based on those we create the stories. We are not going to be able to create something for everybody. It's not going to be possible. If somebody says yes, we'll create that, it's very very difficult to do that, because there are so many different people with diverse choices, diverse motivations, diverse interests. uh, Creating that story, and unless it's going to go in real time, adapt to how the person is reading, content will not. It's difficult to create something. So we this is what we go into. We go and talk to people and understand what their requirements are, who do they want to connect with, who do they want to attract, and build the content or suggest a content strategy as per that
yeah.
those things.
So,
That's it.
so typically, what are some of the key areas of the content strategy? Like, what are the different ways, or your principles that your organization, you personally believe in? These are some of the principles on which we will deliver content.
Okay. So one of the things that we look at first of all is and I am going to say this because we have actually been asked sometimes to do it, is one, don't lie. There are people who
Pardon?
try don't lie
Don't
when you
lie.
write, when you're writing about your content, you're writing business stories, brand stories and all. Don't
Got
lie.
it. Yeah.
There are people who do that. You can exaggerate, you can extend the truth a little bit, that's accepted. Don't write about something that doesn't exist. Don't make
Hmm.
false claims. Today it is there, and if you're caught, nothing can repair. Today the market is, and this is something we have told clients and we've been asked sometimes, write it off, don't worry, we'll manage. But we tell people, don't do that, so they can get caught. Second, be concise. Be
Hmm.
concise and be precise. uh, it's simple. When you're writing content, we build a story, always build a story. If you're writing about a company, what is the company story about? Don't just say, we this company provides services in this. What's the story behind the company? What's the story behind the founder? Where does this What is the company's vision? How does this company want to change the world?
Hmm.
That is going to be important to bring those as part of the story. Use a story to bring it in.
Hmm.
Depending again on the channel, the content changes, but have a consistent message. Don't have a different message, something different that you're saying on your website, something different on your newspaper or print articles, and something different. The message has to be the same. The way it is sent out in those different media can change, but the underlying message, the consistent brand and company message should be there. This is a very key factor about a brand, about a content strategy when we come in, and
Hmm.
understanding what is that one message, that you one or two key messages that flows through any kind of channel that we go through. So what is the message that goes through? It will come out in different points. In a video it may come out longer, in a website it comes out longer in terms of written format, in a social media it's a short piece, in a written format, in a mailer it again comes into 2 lines, but you're saying the same thing about your company and your services and what the value that you add.
Yeah. So, Shiva, can you share a project that you're extremely proud about?
um, so we did this. It's a project that is not yet live, but It's an interesting story that when we had to do this, it was brought about by a friend of mine who's a psychologist, and she was a psychologist on board for this company which was into feminine wellness.
Mhm.
It was about that this company was into PCOS and endometriosis, two things
Yeah.
which I knew little about before. I knew about PCOS, I didn't know about endometriosis. And the moment we came on the screen, actually, it was with the founders are young people. It's a startup that came in there, and they spoke about they actually messaged the psychologist, and they didn't know the psychologist sitting right across me in the in the Zoom call. They actually messaged, will this old man actually be able to write about this, one man second old?
Mm.
Will he be actually able to do justice about this? And
Mhm.
it she just messaged, she just showed me the phone and said, hey, this is what the message is. And I said, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Mhm.
And then when I spoke about them, this is the same thing. I spoke about what their vision was, what their companies, and I told them, you're talking about, why are you talking about being PCOS survivors? Let's talk about being women warriors. We changed the whole theme of the story. The whole theme, the whole message was talking about being warriors and not survivors. You've not survived it. You fought it, you
Mm.
won it. You have decided to take on these problems head on. You've not decided to live by the PCOS terms or endometriosis terms. You have decided, I'm going to live life on my terms and handle the PCOS. So why are you calling yourself survivors? Stop using that term. Call yourselves
Mm.
warriors. And we built the whole theme of the content and everything on that theme of being
Mhm.
warriors and not survivors. They've loved it. They've loved it. They face certain problems as you and me are in the same world. The startup world does sometimes face a few sudden hiccups. So they are
Yeah.
going through a hiccup now, but which is why I'm not yet revealing the actual name of it. I will
Sure, sure,
be
sure.
there, but that's one project that I was proud of. At the end of it, when they told me, and they actually expressed this, that hey, we thought you wouldn't be
Oh.
able to do it, but we love what's come out at the end of it.
Mm.
And very
Mm.
very it was a challenge for me and my team at that time when I was working for them, is to put ourselves in the place of a woman.
Mm.
It
Mm.
was challenging, but we loved that's a project we loved doing. We loved doing this project. This is
Yeah.
the thing that's there, bringing the story out again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are some of the common mistakes, organizations are doing? Be it, I mean, not only limited to startups, but I would say a mid-sized organization or even a corporate in terms of their content planning and execution. What are some of the common mistakes? And sometimes, Shiv, I'm going one step even further. When you look at the kind of brand name they have, be it not, let's say, in social media, but the kind of brand connect they share with the audience, but when you go and see their content, be it on their website or their LinkedIn, wherever, it just feels that it's not up to the mark. They're not living up to the brand's whatever perception that we have, and that perception has actually come from the authentic experience that we have had with the brands. So I just thought
Correct.
of elaborating this to kind of
Yeah.
give you a perspective on all the fronts.
So some of the some of the things that happen very often are, uh, people start going around to just, one is saying what they do and
Hmm.
how they do it, not
Mhm.
why do they do it and what do they do it for, whom do they do it for, and what
Hmm.
and what can do. So a simple thing that I say don't say, if you want to attract your customers, don't talk about what you do, talk about what you can do for them, for the
Hmm.
customers. The customers want to know what you can do for them. A lot of companies of various sizes, I know about various brands and all, they talk about what they do, this is our product, this is our service, this is what
Hmm.
we do. We are a so many decades old company. We do this, we provide these services, we have an excellent team. Customer says, so what's in it for me?
Hmm.
Start
Hmm.
talking about it in terms of saying, what is it, what's in it for them. Even your social media, talk about who your audience is. Why should your audience listen to you? Why should your audience read about you?
Hmm.
You want to write a long story, give them a reason upfront. Why should they read for you? They just start stating the whole facts and putting out a whole story. Give them a
Yeah.
reason upfront as to why you're doing so. A lot of people don't believe in the thing of storytelling for businesses. They just
Mhm.
want to, they say we are a serious business. This actual response that I once got. We are a serious business.
Hmm.
You can be as serious a business. We are absolutely serious about business too. But people want to hear, use a story to write about it. Tell them how you're going to benefit them. How are you going to make the world better? Very often I ask people this. So who are you and how do you make the world a better place?
Mhm.
And they think about the answer. That's a beautiful way. If you start introducing your company and talking about your company, your business, your brand and service in that way, this is how we make a world a better place. Second thing is having a consistent messaging right through. People
Mhm.
don't have the same message. It's no, I'm not talking about using the same words,
Mhm.
but talking about the same messaging across all multiple channels that go in through.
Mhm.
There's a different message and a different brand personality that comes through on their website, a different messaging and brand personality that comes through to newspaper articles and PR, digital PR. Something else on the social media is a totally different personality and message brand that comes out. Different things come out, right? So this sometimes tends to confuse the audience, right? And there are certain when people, like when we actually spoke about people having a newsletter once for our company, they wanted to share everything in the newsletter. We said, why
Hmm.
are you sharing this? It doesn't make sense for the readers to for these certain pieces. And
Yeah.
don't just state this was done. So what we
Yeah.
spoke about is getting a couple of the points together which form a story, and only share those stories or those story points which which affected the audience or the reading audience in a certain way,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
basically giving the audience a reason to read, a reason to consume the content. Why
Yeah.
should I consume this content?
Yeah.
These are things that people overlook. They just want to uh, share everything about themselves in various methods, instead of not thinking about who's the intended audience and what is their reason to consume this content.
Yeah. 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 And what are some of the challenges that you see, which are such so common challenges, I would say common sensical challenges, that shouldn't exist while they're planning their content strategy.
One, okay, it's going to put me into a little bit of trouble, but let me put it out there. uh, Leaving your ego out.
Hmm. Mhm.
Your company, your business is not the latest, greatest, biggest, but it
Yeah.
can be different. Know how you're different. Know
Hmm.
who you are. Set yourself as a different place.
Hmm.
You wanting to say, you know that you are not this. So, and wanting to share, not wanting to share information enough, right? A lot of people believe that what I do in my company is uh, very, what do you say, confidential or things, and if I share this information, other people will copy it, other people will steal it, other people will use it.
Hmm.
uh, Buddy, there's something called the YouTube, there's something called Google and various other search engines, and thanks to AI, anything and everything is out there in the world for a person who knows how to search for it. Today there's
Hmm.
nothing ultra confidential about it unless it's in your head. Nothing more truer than what Aristotle said a long time ago, saying that a secret no longer remains a secret if it's shared with more than one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it was said. And today, if you've spoken to one person about it, it's already stops having seeds. It's somewhere out there. But if you're the thing is, use that content to your advantage. Use what you're doing. Tell people that this is what we're doing different. This is how we make a difference to you. This is what we use. This is our secret sauce, and this is what we give to you. Have your process. It's a different thing of having your process in a way that make it real bigger and make that a difference. But use that and tell that story out. Let people know that you're actually working to providing them with a different thing. This is what we are doing. Be proud of it. Success stories. People don't share success stories. I don't know why. I don't know why
Hmm.
people are they feel in this is again something that I've actually been told that if I share that I'm working with this company, my competitors will also reach out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Then you're not confident about the service that you have given that. If it's a
Yeah.
true success and the company is actually happy with you, going to be there with you, be there, join the success, share the success story.
Yeah.
And the final thing is trying to what do you say translate the technical terms, the industrial terms into everyday language.
Hmm.
Many times the content that's given to us or people want is they they want it in a way that they understand,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
but they don't put themselves in the audience shoes that the audience doesn't understand. We had this for a when we are doing for somebody who's a dentist's website, and half the terms that he gave me, I said, to understand this, I'll have to go through a crash course in dentistry.
Hmm.
Forget your
Hmm.
audience who's having a toothache. At that time, he or she understanding it is going to be crazy.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
actually took him some convincing, but today we have actually developed a website where the whole thing is written in simple language
Yeah. Yeah.
about
Yeah.
what are the symptoms and how do you face. Putting it in that way. Translate it into simple terms into what the audience will understand, what your
Hmm.
intended audience understands. Present it in that and not in the way that you understand or you talk.
So beautifully put up. Thank you. Thank you, Shiva.
My
And
pleasure.
then, how do you justify the return on investment?
That in is one of the most difficult questions because what we do is so abstract.
Hmm.
What we do is so abstract that we find this difficult. Let me be
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Of
truthful
course.
about it. We find it actually
Yeah.
difficult when I tell people, but in certain terms that we have got in terms, let me extend a few customer successes that we have shared, that we have had.
Yeah. Also, maybe you can also share. Like once you meet your client post 6 months, right?
Yeah,
Then what kind of conversation happens? So
absolutely.
it's I meant more about the value creation side as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually when we are doing a we were actually doing this marketing content strategy with a client of ours, and we had helped define some very key messaging statements and focus statements, and their digital marketing team in the week that was in between the sessions, they actually decided to use some of those statements as part of the marketing a mailer campaign that they did. Mailer campaigns, we all know, if you have a 1% response rate or 2% response rate,
Yeah.
you should consider it successful.
Yeah.
These people tested it out with 66 email addresses, out of which they had around 10 opens
Hmm.
and two responses, actual asking for more information.
Wow.
Now, this is itself a success. This is what a success. The guy said, "We know it works now. We know that this works straight away."
Hmm.
When we work with people to define what a lead is, right? We've done this with another company which was into senior living communities, which was selling senior living communities and all for them. Very defined customer persona, very defined customer persona, and said this is exactly the kind of person who would buy. This is your intended audience, and deep
Yeah.
down to multiple level. Work with the digital marketing company, giving them very specific messaging and all that.
Uh,
Uh, well, in 2 weeks, we got only 43 leads. Now, any person listening, or there's 43 leads in 2 weeks is nothing.
hmm.
But none
Hmm.
of these 43 leads were not acceptable. All 43 leads were on point. The exact lead definition that we wanted. People who were willing to buy the place and the senior living community. People who are willing to invest in the senior living, which means either the senior citizens or their children.
Hmm.
This is literally on point. Within the first week, they actually sold five properties within the first week of investment. Now
Wow.
that's the power of where you have very focused content, very focused marketing comes in
Hmm.
on point and doing it rather than spraying it all out. To certain people, where you for somebody that we did this, they were doing a small event where they were planning a master class for a very targeted group of people.
Hmm.
What I told them is Forget forget doing all the digital marketing. It's a very
Hmm.
focused target, very focused thing. Let's get a database and let's send very focused emails, not more than 10 to 12 lines. Literally,
Hmm.
we actually measured key on the phone or on the laptop, how long will it be when they receive the email? Do they get the
Yeah.
gist of message right in the first paragraph?
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the only investment that they did, and they got the participants for their program. Now this is a kind of very focused. So these are kind of measures that we see, or rather outcomes that we see. But measures in terms of could be the ease in brand value, in
Yeah.
awareness about who your customer,
Yeah.
who you are, about your company, how many people engage with you. There are these various measures, but
Yeah.
if you look at it, you look at it bottom line, do they actually matter? No. But when you get a more effective sale, you know it's going to be better. You know, when
Hmm.
people remember you, when you have these kind of stories that our clients share with us, saying that, hey, we actually got a much better response when we did the email campaign with your messaging.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these start becoming successes. In one case, we wrote the website content for one of our clients, and they actually um, they an investor they got an investor, because the investor was buying a product from the site and loved the stories and all that was told, that he actually contacted the founder and said, I'd like to know more about what you did. So your story is so interesting.
Yeah.
They found an investor through this. Hey, if these are not our successes, and that's where I'm proud to talk about these as our successes, because these are the way we have helped the companies
No,
succeed.
but this is your success.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
you
what it
don't.
is.
I
So
mean, you don't have to shy away. This is your
yeah,
success because
absolutely.
the reason. I mean, definitely, I second that what you are sharing right now, because a lot of content, authentic content. I mean, I would say we are living in a world where if someone is having a, let's say, a client call, where a
Yeah,
person is having pitched a product, I always share, during my interactions or wherever, is that the person is going to go back and spend 3 hours or minimum 2 hours to read about you, to kind
correct.
of get you, so that should be the invite. So I completely, and of course, unfortunately, there is no, I would say, set of metrics. I mean, I am also not a strong believer that, okay, this content, how many sales, yeah, sales happened, wonderful, but then how many quality leads that is generated, what is the social listening of what does people feel, how do they
Oh, it is.
interact, do they want to ask you questions. I think that's it. And thank you, Shiva, for explaining it beautifully. And I think everything that you mentioned is part of the success of your team. So I mean,
Thank you.
I do that. In fact, I would also want to share with this with thought with the viewers who are watching, is that yes, there are no specific matrices, but I would, want everyone to introspect that there are so many hidden or unintended positive consequences of content, right content strategy. Thank you, Shiva, for sharing that. And okay, what do you so we are just, deviating to a new topic, because I know
Perfect.
you have been also supporting a lot of startup founders. You've been mentoring SMEs. So uh, what kind of leadership style you practice yourself, and you also
Uh,
encourage others to do so?
so okay, my leadership styles stems from two books that I call my Bibles of
Yeah,
business. Two lesser read and lesser popular, much not so popular in the business world when you hear about a lot of books. But these are books that I read in the 2000s, and I've reread over the years again and again, and especially in the past 4 years when I've started my own company. The first is a book called Maverick, and both are by the same author. It's Ricardo Semler. First is a book called Maverick, and the second is something that we all want to. Thanks, thanks, Sagar. And the second is something that I'm sure every one of us who work would want to aspire to. Is called the 7 Day Weekend.
hmm.
And these are two books which talks about creating a organization where people where things work, whether you're there or not,
Yeah,
where they have empowered teams in the true sense. We don't just pay lip service to saying empowerment. When you give responsibility, when you talk about making somebody responsible. You're enabling them with the right skills to be responsible for it, enabling them with the decision making skills to do it, and giving them the ownership of doing it. You're not going to question them. Yes, people are bound to make mistakes. That's human nature. But talk about how do you fix the process and ensure that it doesn't go, because the more that you are needed in the operations, in those things, that's the lesser time that you can spend out for yourself, for exploring new opportunities, for doing different things, for growing the companies. So you should not, so you're, but you need to develop the teams, develop the people within. That's the way. Again, I have a team that is built, I believe in building teams, an organization that's built on trust, and I literally do mean trust. I trust my team. Today I'm working from home from this. My team is working in office. I have one person working remotely. uh, there's one person I hope listening to this also, to trying to track what is happening over here. But this is what, the idea is that the trust is that work is done. And believe me, the teams have not, none of the team members have ever let this down. They know the responsibility. I've not said that you have to work, come in at 9, leave at 6, be there. This is the time, this is what needs to be done, this is by when we need to deliver it, let's work towards it. And there are very very few deadlines that are missed. And
Mm.
always we ensure that it's on quality and on time, kind of thing. So it's building on trust, building that over there. Very flat organizations. I don't believe in, uh, my team members still to call me sir, but it's friendly. I think part sir is more because of my gray hair, and I think if I dye it black, they'll probably call me,
Yeah.
that's
In
it, they'll
fact, there
call
is
me
a
sir.
TED talk. There is a TED talk on a particular research has been done on the sir ma'am culture and how it takes away the productivity. So I just
Yes,
remembered as you said. But yeah, please go ahead.
but this is the way but we still, we don't have that, what do you say, the formalities and the things with the, there's respect. Don't
Hmm.
confuse respect and formality. These
Absolutely.
are two different things. Just because they're calling you sir and all that, but if they don't respect you, it doesn't matter how much of they're
Hmm.
calling you sir, they're calling you all those things, it doesn't matter. But when the respect is there, they can even call me Shiva,
Hmm.
and it's okay, as long as the respect, and it's mutual. Just because they are the team members, they report to you and all that, doesn't mean that you don't respect them. You respect them equally. The respect is mutual, and when you do that, believe me, you're creating empowered organizations in the truest sense, not just the
Hmm.
lip service.
Yeah.
That's kind of thing.
True.
So I believe in trust. I believe in enabling people, empowering them to go there, giving them the responsibility, and believing that they will deliver on the responsibility.
Yeah. 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 Thank you, Shiva, for sharing that. Please later share your
Yeah.
comments on the books that the both the books that you suggested. I think, in fact, thank you so much. You suggested me. In fact, you gifted me this book, Maverick,
Yep.
and I think I've been a fan of Ricardo Semler since then, and I have been practicing learnings from him. And in fact, it has opened some of the new avenues in which I now think. So thank you, Shiva, in adding value in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned a very important point about being process oriented, and the funny part is the content business, the business of like the business of content is, let's say, you have to organize the content. This is so much out there.
Yeah.
So how do you manage being process oriented in an industry which is highly diverse?
So, so funny question. So there's actually a psychometric test that is done on me based on shapes, and
What test it is? What test it is?
it's called a psychogeometric. There's a thing called psychogeometrics,
Yeah, please
and
do
which
share.
is,
I
yeah,
would love to do that for myself. Yeah.
and a friend of mine called Prantik does this, and so when they define the personalities of people as per different shapes, and it
Hmm.
turned out that I'm one of those rare men of extremes. I am what is called a squiggle and a box. A box is very process oriented and very framework driven and step one, step two, and all that. And at the absolute other end of the spectrum is the squiggle, and literally defined by the squiggle. A squiggle has no shape, has no this. It's random.
Yeah.
This, and I am apparently a combination, an equal combination of being a squiggle and a box, which is highly process oriented while being ultra creative. So the way he says it, it was, you are at war with yourself. You don't need to fight with anybody else outside. But
Hmm.
this what
Hmm.
also brings, what I'm able to do is bring in, saying that this is the loose framework. This is the framework in which we work. Now within this, we get creative. We can build, we can do all this, but giving it a structure in which we work. We given defined again by whom we are writing for, what we are writing, doing, what we are doing. All that in that structure, we bring in a factor of the creative. There comes our creativity. It's not just loose creativity going everywhere and bring it. We first frame the structure, frame out the rules, frame out all that, and then say, okay, let's go wild inside this.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think we got a comment from one of our viewers. She's finding the insights amazing. Thank you,
My
Priya,
pleasure.
for listening. Uh, Shiva, how do you you mentioned about building trust, and I think trust and authenticity are the pillars of anything and everything. I think I feel it is the language of relationships, business,
Absolutely.
or for that matter, anything that we do, right? And the kind of global challenges that we are seeing today, be it terms of war or for that matter, the competitiveness in the businesses, somewhere these two aspects are compromised. Okay,
Yes.
what are some of the action steps leaders must take if they are listening this to this and listening to you? Reason being, people are talking fancy stuff about startups. People are busy just reading and looking at the numbers. But I'm sure you've been in this industry for so long, and I happen to see my entire journey from this lens. I see that these things are ideally not being practiced in organizations. And the top two reasons why startups succeed, number one is timing, and number two is team. And everything is between this trust and authenticity. So, what are some of the action steps you would like to suggest uh, folks to take if they want to build trust in their
So
teams?
one is, it comes from you, it flows from you as the leader. It flows from you as the leader. Don't say that I trust my team, I trust my employees, I trust you in doing this, and then second guess, second question them on every little nitty gritty of how they're working, what they're working, and micromanage them.
Mm,
Trust them, trust in the process to do it.
mm,
It will flow back. If you're going to say it and play lip service, it's going to work only for so long.
mm,
After some time,
mm,
it's just people are going to see through it. I'm going to say that when you say you trust, actually trust them. It's as simple as that. I know it's, and it's, believe me, it's also, it's as easy done as said. If you decide to leave your things, a lot of us, especially if you're coming in uh, from larger MNCs and larger things, a lot of
mm,
companies, we've had this experience where uh, we have heard of enough places where you're logged in by your biometrics. Are you there or not? Your attendance is tracked by your biometrics. Your how many hours you worked have been tracked by your keystrokes on the computer, or you're actually visually seen as to how many hours have you worked, how many things. Start focusing instead on the work output, on the work delivery, the output of it, and not
mm,
on how much time was put in and what was done. Is the work done in time? Is the work done as per quality?
mm,
Before that, yes, have the process in place. As I said, empower the team, train the team to do the work, enable them with the responsibilities, enable them with the knowledge and things that are there, set the process to happen, and then trust in
mm.
the process and trust in the team.
Yeah,
You'll find that the team also then starts trusting in you.
yeah, yeah.
The second, which and this was something that I learned from one of my managers when I was part of the corporate world, uh, big thing in trust. We used to have our meetings, team meetings, in two different rooms, depending on what was the meeting. When it was a review meeting, we used to go to the table which had a rectangular table, the room which had a rectangular table. He would sit at the head, and we would be sitting sides because he was the team head, team lead, and he needed inputs from all of us. But when we were sitting, when we had to brainstorm or come up with a solution or work out something or come up with the new ideas, he would come into, we would purposely choose the meeting room with a round table.
Hmm.
And the first thing you used to always say is leave your ego outside. Over here, even I am not. He was an associate director at that time. He said, "I'm not an associate director here. You are not just a consultant here. Today, we are all equal in this room. Treat people equally when it's required. Appreciate their ideas, every single thing, and give credit where it's due. Give the respect where it's due.
Yeah,
Trust will build."
absolutely. Thank you, Shiva, for giving an insight there. How do you manage your insecurities?
We've had a lot of them, and work through everything. Understand? Yes, the past 5 years, as you said, a little after this, is where again I've embarked on a spiritual journey, which has
Mm-hmm.
helped in managing a lot of these insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
In managing a lot of these insecurities, which has gone in. Two people to thank for this journey. Apart, of course, my parents and my family are a big part of it. But two people outside it. One is, of course, uh, a person who's guiding me spiritually called Vijay Srani, and the second person is Venkatesh Iyer, who's continues to be my mentor, and
Mm-hmm.
whom I also mentor other with whom I mentor other organizations, and they are the ones who have actually helped me start on this journey, which I now continue and go ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it's been working, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's it is you do feel you accept the thing that yes, this is what I fear, this is where I lack. Accept it first. That's okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
start working on it to build on it further. I've had
Mm-hmm.
I have I call Venki sometimes being my professional mirror. He looks at
Mm-hmm.
it, he questions me. I come and I've told him so many times saying that, Venki, you think I'll be able to do this? I'm taking on something really challenging. Will I be able to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than saying, of course, giving that pep talk and saying, oh, he would say, why do you think you cannot? And then work me through it, saying, see, you always can.
Mm-hmm.
Just take that step forward. Right. It's okay. What's the worst thing that will happen if you fail?
Yeah.
Are we ready for it? We always know what's the thing that will happen if you succeed. What's the worst thing will happen? Are we ready for it? Great, let's do it. If you're not ready
Mm-hmm.
for it, let's get ready and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most afraid about? What will happen if the thing that you're afraid about happens? Can we get ready for it? Then can we do it? So these are two people who have helped me on this journey, helped me get in and build in. And of course, Mike, uh, you can never ever discount the thing. And I'm sure, Sagar, I know your journey too. That family plays a very important friend. Family and some very close friends play this very critical part. We all go through those down periods. We all go through when insecurity takes us over. And believe me, share it with your family, share it with your friends, well-meaning friends,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
find that one or two people who will help you. There are people around. Ask for it. There are people around willing to help. Get
How
ready
to
for it.
ask for help? Someone doesn't know how to ask for help. What advice you have?
I've asked for it. I know. So one, ask it of people you trust,
Hmm.
because you are at that time at one of your weakest positions, one
Hmm.
of your weakest. So yes, ask it of people you trust. Do not ask it of people. But when it means, when you say trust them fully,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and you will find the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And leave your ego aside
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of
In
times.
fact, no, thank you, Shiva, for sharing that. Again, it reinforces a an area which I always also share it with the viewers, that you must have coaches and mentors and well wishers. You should build that community,
Yes,
and you must actively seek people. I think that's where things turn gold. In fact, it really tricks you, makes you live in the present moment and face the challenges. So thank you, Shiva, for
my pleasure.
sharing that. And thank you once again, Shiva. I think we are 55 minutes already into the conversation, and I just
Yes.
felt like we were having a warm up, warm
Yeah,
up interaction. But
I
I
know.
think we
It
spoke
was
a lot.
lovely.
We
Yes.
understood content from your lens. We got an insight. on the future of content,
Yeah.
basics, basics that everyone of us who enjoys the content game, and even if someone who doesn't enjoy, don't have any choice, you have to be in the content business,
Yes.
in terms of reaching out to your clients.
Thanks.
Also, you shared one of the success stories that you are proud of, and you also helped various stakeholders who are listening to the call, be it the mentors or your clients and other professionals who are directly involved in the
Yeah.
content and marketing aspect of their businesses. So thank you, Shiva, for sharing
My
that.
pleasure.
And before we end this conversation, can you share how folks can reach out to you? What is the best way to connect with you? And if there is anything we missed out on, feel free to share your comments out there.
So one, my parents understood SEO way before it was invented. So if you go into Google and put Shivakumar Valadi, SHIVAKUMAR VALADI on Google. I think all the results on the first page are related to me. That's where you'll get me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. You'll find me there. Shivakumar Valadi. That's the easiest way to get me in. Atri Marcon again is the website. So atrimarcon.com, and you will find me there too. And so it's shiva.valadi@atrimarcon.com, my email. So if you see my name, you can see my name. So you just put in a dot in between, and you see my company name below there at atrimarcon.com. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Thank you, Shiva. Thank you once again for joining us and sharing your brief, and I would say sharing your vast knowledge in brief.
My pleasure.
And I
My
look
pleasure.
forward to having you back on this forum to share
Would love to.
uh,
Would love to.
share something which I feel. I mean, in my understanding, you also fantastically fantastically design customer experience. I would also, in my mind, I always see you as a customer experience designer.
Yes,
So maybe we can touch on that area, and
absolutely.
we'll have a next conversation. Yeah. And
Thank you.
also, on this note, I would like to thank all the viewers from joining us from different parts of the world and listening to us. And I promise that I'll continue this journey of spreading knowledge virtually, globally. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sagar, and thank you, all our listeners. Thank you.